Let's take you live now to London, where France 24's François Picard is standing by to take you through this special programme this evening here on France 24.
Rochelle, it's been a momentous day in the UK capital. Many still reeling and coming to grips with the shock of the loss of the only queen they've ever known, and also cheering a new one. We were there earlier to see King Charles arrive at Buckingham Palace. Huge crowds, young and old. They came from near and far, some taking the day off from work, some coming from halfway around the world. King Charles, who will be speaking in the next hour. That's what's scheduled. We'll be bringing it to you live here on France 24. Our coverage begins with Bénédicte Paviot, who is outside of Buckingham Palace. Bénédicte, it's been such a moving day this Friday. We'll try to reconnect there with Bénédicte Paviot in a moment.
I'm here. Can you not hear me?
Oh, you are here. Okay, great.
Yes, I am indeed. Outside Buckingham
I can hear
Palace.
you loud and clear.
Good.
Bénédicte, we were there speaking to people. Bénédicte, the incredible number of people who came. I saw primary school children. I spoke with a carer, 58 years old, who took the day off and took the train down from Petersburg. It's been so moving to see all these people behind you all day long.
Indeed. They were here in their thousands last night when it was actually bucketing down with rain. I met people as we were leaving at 1 a.m. in the morning, a woman who'd come, she'd said, all the way east of London, and she wanted to be on television because she wanted to tell the world how much she loved the Queen. Then when I walked home, I saw a caretaker in a neighbouring building who was doing his duty, a night shift, and he just looked at me and he said, "We're going to miss her, aren't we? We're going to miss her terribly." Told me his wife had been in tears. And I think, actually, having watched the tributes today in Parliament that have begun, there will be more tomorrow, and you look at MPs and certainly Boris Johnson, he's known for his eloquence, and I have to say that his speech and tribute to the Queen, I think, captured a lot of things. One of them was how some of us will be surprised at how sad we actually are and how it will catch us off guard. And I have to say that I will include myself in that category, having lived in the United Kingdom since the age of 3. Her presence, the Queen's presence, her constancy has been so remarkable that anybody who is not at least 73 or 75 years old has never known another monarch. One little amusing thing that broadcasters will maybe relate to a lot was another Prime Minister, Theresa May, very briefly, François, who in her speech also included the fact that she had these regular, as any British Prime Minister, and indeed Liz Truss has just had her first audience with King Charles III. So the many audiences she had with the Queen, and you must never tell what has been said in those meetings outside. And in a sense of humour, she said, "Well, I was sure of one thing. That was one meeting I had throughout my premiership that I knew that there would never be any leaks from." Whereupon the whole House of Commons actually laughed out loud, because ministerial meetings in 10 Downing Street is known for its leaks. So a moving day, people reminiscing, people wanting to be part. It's the part of the British mourning. And we're just at the beginning of this morning, but also we're at the beginning of this era of King Charles III. As I look out onto Buckingham Palace and the royal standard that for the first time is flying at full mast, and that will always only be at full mast, but is flying for him because he is in Buckingham Palace.
I'm so glad you mentioned, Bénédicte, the tributes in the Commons, because that was moving. It was moving to see people from both sides of the aisle after what's been an acrimonious 5 years since Brexit, make that 6 years actually, that they were able to come together in this moment. And you could feel that the members of Parliament were moved themselves, just like the people, again, where you are. Let's take a quick listen.
I always expected to feel sad.
But I think the sort of outpouring of grief from across the world has really just highlighted the loss that we've experienced.
She was our monarch. She was the Queen of England, you know. I'm English. I'm proud to be English. I'm proud to have had her as a queen.
She was sincere, and she was sort of, well, the Queen is us, the Queen is Britain.
So yeah, a lot of emotion about the passing of 96-year-old Elizabeth II. We were down in the crowd, Bénédicte Paviot, when King Charles and Princess Consort Camilla arrived at Buckingham Palace for the first time, coming down.
Yeah.
Queen Consort. Thank you for the correction. Yeah. Queen Consort. Coming down from Scotland for the first time, entering Buckingham Palace. I know. I hope we don't make it a drinking game every time I say Prince Charles instead of King, but it just not used to it yet. But it was very stirring to see him go by, and to see that the crowd applauded, and that applause was genuine.
Yes, and it was extraordinary to watch. It's a risky moment. Of course, he's surrounded by detectives, close protection officers, and I am told, as I watched those scenes, I'm told that what the close protection officers were saying as they went along, and people held up their phones to film or take selfies with Prince Charles, or at least attempt to, is that those protection officers were saying, put the phone down, enjoy the moment. And there is a danger when you take photos of things that you're not actually fully present in the moment. But that first encounter with his subjects here in the United Kingdom, people from London, people from the UK, people all ages, people from across the world, they were shaking his hand. A few women actually kissed his hand. He took that in his stride. Another woman actually grabbed his face and managed to kiss him on the cheek. And he took that in his stride. Very moving then to see, some flowers also were given, bouquets of flowers were given to him. Very moving to see him then walk and look at the flowers and the many, many bouquets that are in front of the gates, François, and some of the messages. And when he actually walked in on foot with Queen Consort Camilla, that again is a break. It's a new style. It's his style. So it will be fascinating to watch this as we await, and we will watch and monitor, broadcast indeed, his address to the nation that he has now recorded and will be broadcast here in the United Kingdom at 6 p.m. London time, 7 p.m. French time. Let me just quote one sentence from Boris Johnson. He said, amongst many things, she lulled us into thinking she was eternal. I think many people across the United Kingdom, across the Commonwealth and across the world, and we on France 24 can broadcast across the world. We do that in 4 languages. We are answering a real curiosity, a need and an affection that was the iconic woman, not just the head of the Commonwealth or the UK. She was loved, she was admired and respected for her sense of service and of duty. A 70-year reign that leaves a huge loss, yes, but a huge legacy.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about a lot over the next 2 hours. Just one brief final question about that, Bénédicte. You mentioned the woman reaching out to kiss the new king, Charles taking things in stride. One of the trademarks of Queen Elizabeth was, well, she never gave her opinion, or extremely rarely. And when she did, it was in a cryptic fashion. As one historian put it, she didn't it wasn't, her job wasn't to act, her job was to be. Charles, is he already showing that it's going to be different?
Well, yes. These are very different people. She inherited the crown when she was 25. She was not well known, not much known about. He has had a lifetime of waiting and being prepared for this role. He's 73 years old. He has been criticized many times in the past by people here, politicians included, for lobbying ministers about town planning, about architecture, about his environmental values. But you want to look at it from another point of view, for example, about organic farming, which he has believed in for very many years, and think and climate change, for example, now, and certainly a very close relationship between the royal family and, for example, Sir David Attenborough, Prince William with his Earthshot Prize. This is not, he didn't do it because he was trendy. So yes, he's going to be his own man, but he is very conscious, wholly conscious. He has told us even recently in a British documentary that he must really adopt something different now. His mother was known for her impartiality.
It's got to be something different.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Benedict, we're going to pick up on that point, and we're going to pick it up later again as we build up to the top of the hour when we'll be hearing that first speech by Charles as King.